Henry, by the grace of God, King of England, Lord of Ireland, Duke of Normandy, Aquitaine, and Count of Anjou, to the archbishops, bishops, abbots, priors, earls, barons, justices, forests, sheriffs, stewards, servants, and to all his bailiffs and faithful subjects, greetings. Know that our reverence for God and for the salvation of our soul and the souls of our ancestors and successors, for the exaltation of the Holy Church and the reform of our realm we have been granted, and by this present charter confirmed for us, our heirs, forever. On the advice of our venerable father, Lord Gallo, Cardinal Priest of St. Martin, Legate of the Apostolic See, and Lord Walter, Archbishop of York, William, Bishop of London, and the other bishops of England, and of William Marshall, Earl of Pembroke, ruler of us and our kingdom, for our faithful earls and barons of England, these liberties, written below, to be held in our kingdom of England forever. In the first place, all forests which King Henry our father made forests shall be viewed by good and law-worthy men, and if he made forest any wood that was not his demesne, to the injury of him whose wood it was, it shall be disafforested. And if he made his own wood forest, it shall be remain forest, save common of pasture and other things in that forest to those who were accustomed to have them previously. Men who live outside the forest need not henceforth come before our justices of the forest upon a general summons, unless they are impleaded or are sureties for any person or persons who are attached for forest offences. All woods made forest by King Richard our uncle, or by King John our father, up to the time of the first coronation, to immediately be disafforested, unless it be our demesne wood. Archbishops, bishops, abbots, priors, earls, barons, kings, freeholders, who have woods within forests shall have them, and as they have had them at the time of the first coronation of our aforesaid King Henry our grandfather, so that they shall be quit forever in respect of all perprestures, wastes, and assarts made in the woods between the time and the beginning of the second year of our coronation. And those who in future make waste, perprestor, assart in them without license from us shall answer for waste, perprestors, and assarts. Our regarders shall go through the forests, making the regard as it used to be made at the time of the coronation of the aforesaid King Henry our grandfather, and not otherwise. The inquest or view of expediating of dogs in the forest shall be henceforth be made when with the regard ought to be made, namely every third year, and then made by the view and the testimony of law-worthy men, and not otherwise. And he whose dog is then not found, not expedited, shall give as amercement 3 shillings, and in future no ox shall be seized for failure to expediate. The manner, moreover, of expediating by assize shall generally be the 3 claws of forefoot are to be cut off, but not the ball. Nor shall dogs henceforth be expediated except in places where it was customary to expediate them at the time of the first coronation of our King Henry our grandfather. No forester or beadle shall henceforth make scotale or levy sheaves of corn or oats or other grain or lambs or piglets, or make them any other levy. And by view and oath of 12 regarders, when they make the regard, as many foresters are to be set to keep the forests as shall seem to them reasonable, sufficient for keeping them. No swamimote shall henceforth be held in our kingdom except 3 times a year, namely a fortnight before the feast of St. Michael, when the agisters meet to the agist of the demesne woods, and about the feast of St. Martin, when our agisters ought to receive our pannage dues. At these 2 swanimotes, foresters, verders, agisters shall appear, but no one else shall be compelled to do so. At the 3rd swanimote shall be held at a fortnight before the feast of St. John the Baptist, for fawning of our beasts, and for holding this swanemote, foresters and verdiers shall come, but no others shall be compelled to do so. In addition, every 40 days throughout the year, the verters and foresters shall meet to view attachments of the forest, both of the vert and of the venison, of the presentment of those foresters, and the attached present. The aforesaid swanemotes, however, shall only be held in countries in which they were wont to be held. Every free man shall agist his wood in the forest as he wishes, and have his pannage. We grant also that each free man can conduct his pigs through our demesne woods freely and without impediment, to agist them in his own woods or anywhere else he wishes. And if pigs of any free man shall spend one night in our forest, he shall not on that account be so prosecuted that he loses anything of his own. No one shall henceforth lose life, limb, because of our venison. But if anyone has been arrested or convicted of taking venison, he shall be fined heavily if he has the means. And if he have not the means, he shall lie in our prison for a year and a day. And after a year and a day, he can find pledges, he may leave prison. If not, he shall abjure the realm of England. Any archbishop, bishop, earl, baron, whatever, who passes through our forest shall be allowed to take 1 or 2 beasts under the supervision of the forester, if he has to hand, but if not, let him have the horn blown, lest he seem to be doing it furtively. Every free man shall henceforth, without being prosecuted, make in his wood or inland he has in forest a mill, a preserve, a pond, a maul pit, a ditch, or arable outside the covert in arable land, on condition that it does not harm any neighbor. Every free man shall have the ears of hawks, sparrowhawks, falcons, eagles, herons in his woods, and likewise honey found in his woods. No forester henceforth who is not a forest in fee, rendering us a farm for his bailiwick, may exact any chiminage in his bailiwick, but a forester in free rendering us a farm for his bailiwick may extract chiminage, namely for a cart for half a year 2d, and for another half of year 2d, and for a horse with a load for half a year half d, and for the other half of the year half d. And only those who come outside his bailiwick as merchants, with his permission, into his bailiwick to buy wood, timber, bark, or charcoal, and take them elsewhere to sell where they wish. And from no other cart or load shall chiminage be extracted. Chiminage shall only be extracted in places where it is used to be extracted and old and ought to be have extracted. Those, on the other hand, who carry wood, bark, or charcoal on their backs for sale, although they get their living by it, shall not in future pay chiminage. In respect of all woods or other chiminage shall be given to our foresters, beyond that given in respect of our own woods. All who at the time of King Henry our grandfather up to the coronation have been outlawed for a forest offence only shall be released for their outlawry without legal proceedings, and shall find reliable pledges that they will do no wrong to us in future in respect of our forest. No castellan or other person may hold forest pleas either of the vert or the venison, but each forester in fee shall attach forest pleas of both vert and venison, and present to them to the verters of their districts where they have been enrolled and enclosed under the seals of verters, and shall be presented to the head forester when he arrives in those parts to hold forest pleas and be determined before him. These liberties concerning forests we have granted to everybody, saving to archbishops, bishops, abbots, priors, earls, barons, knights, and other persons, ecclesiastical or secular, templars or hospitallers, the liberties and free customs in forests outside, in warrens and other things, which have been previously. all these aforesaid customs and liberties, which we have granted to be observed in our kingdom, as far as it pertains to us towards our men, all of our kingdom, clerks as well as laymen, shall observe as far as it pertains to them towards their men. Because we have not yet a seal, we have had the present charter sealed with the seals of our venerable father, the Lord Gallo, Cardinal Priest of St. Martin, Legate of the Apostolic See, William Marshall, Earl of Pembroke, ruler of us and our kingdom. Witness the aforenamed and many others, given by the hands of the aforesaid Lord, the Legate, William Marshall, at St. Paul's, London, on the 6th of November, in the 2nd year of our reign, 1217.